I hope you're all well. I put together a couple of quick short videos for you on your journey. While I was in the midst of painting, some urge came to share these three with you. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you around at a later date maybe. I love you. Have fun. Be good. When the thought something is happening occurs, something inside says something is happening. That's the mind showing up for business. The mind is making the assumptions and the decisions that something is happening. On its base knowledge, its inherited information from what it has gathered as it grew up into this form. It took ownership of the body, it took ownership of itself, it took ownership of the name, the identity, and it says, through its own knowledge, its own learned behavior, something is happening. When there is an experience that something or within a revelation says nothing is happening, that's the mind showing up for business again. A completely opposing state to something is happening, to nothing is happening, but still mind-based. Something is happening, nothing is happening, are two opposing states. Past, gone. Future, coming. Two opposing states. Two complete opposites. When any thought or assumption, knowledge, any experience of a nothing state or a something state, or where you're visiting the past or visiting the future with hopes and beliefs, the mind is playing games with itself and is just ticking away like a time clock until it says time up. When the denial that something is, any thought that comes in to say something is happening or something is associating, attaching, knowing, desiring, wanting, needing, and connecting with anything that has value from the mind, name, shape, form, color, space. When it's denied, meaning the thought appears, something is happening. No. Not attaching, not grabbing, not interested, not taking the lead, not grabbing on. Whatever comes, let it come, go. When nothing comes, mind has dressed itself up into emptiness, into this wonderful void of joy and bliss and peace and tranquility. I want this. I'm not giving this up. Mind, again, is making its appearance, and this also has to be denied. When Ramana Maharshi said, not this, not this, when something appeared that Ramana Maharshi apparently his mind was, you would think, would like, or that, I am that, I am that. Ramana Maharshi said, not that, not this, not that. Not anything with value of an emptiness or a fullness can be taken as serious, taken as true. So when the something and nothing, when the joy and the pain and the bliss and the suffering, when all these things, everything that has any shape, no form, value, quality, any state of grabbing something's attention, the mind's attention, appears, and it is to be denied. And when they're all gone, when everything is denied, what remains? Presence, here and now. And the mind is also appearing in this place. So even presence, even that middle state, even that state where there is no you, no something, no nothing, but every time some little fluctuation of pulling into presence, out of presence, into past, out of past into future, out of future into presence, out of presence into future, it's denied. When presence itself has been seen through, truth remains. Who, what can speak about it? Who can share it? What can divulge it? Because this one is no longer in present state, no longer in past state, no longer in future state, no longer in any state, not even that stateless state, that middle state. And can one maintain this, whatever one is? Can it be kept? Can it be monitored? Can it be associated with? Can it form a relationship with it? Truth is way beyond what even most believe to be as presence, awareness. Truth is beyond consciousness. It is beyond I. It is beyond all names and associations, whether it's God, Allah, Brahman, Absolute. These are names given to truth, given to aspects of truth. That what goes beyond or realizes the beyondness that one is, knows that truth is truth is. It has no association, no definition. It is neither present, past, future. There's all of these things projected from it. Truth is. And therefore, any statement cannot be understood or passed on, projected from any mind. Any completed outcome cannot be passed on, because the outcome is never complete, because the outcome never began, because presence, past and future are all mind-based qualities that keep itself here and keep you here as this body, activated, living, suffering and pain and joy, all these wonderful things that it seems to seek for every day and seems to not want to seek for every day. So truth is as it is. Whatever it is, it is. That what it is. And only that can be projected through a body that associates with presence and can fluctuate into past and future. And that's the ongoing inquiry. Many stop at presence awareness. Many are quite content to live in this Buddha state. contentment. But even Buddha overcame presence. Buddha never spoke about it. No one can speak about it. No one can share it. Even through that beingness, cannot share it. Because that door is that ultimate end of that ultimate beginning, of that ultimate end, of that ultimate beginning, and on and on and on. Not many will experience it in a human body. Many will have to wait till the body is disposed of. Most. Some may just continue blindfolded, juggling with past and future. Every now and then a present state of deep sleep helps maintain the journey. Why the need to question? Question is seeking. Question is not knowing. Yeah? We have minuscule questions. Can you tell me the way to the supermarket because I need food? Over there. Thank you. We now question the universe. We now question whether God exists. We now question whether we are going to be enlightened or awakened. We question through prayer. We question through schooling. We question through work. We question through our minds, infinitely questioning. So what's next? That's the biggest question, isn't it? What's next after this body goes? Will I go to hell, that fire-driven place, and suffer in insanity for the rest of my entire existence? And how long will that existence be? And the mind makes up stories about what hell is. Will I go to heaven where I will be fed grapes and caressed by angels and have infinite sunrises and beautiful non-working experiences where everyone just looks after me because I've been such a good boy? What's next? You see, when this video speaker stops speaking, now your mind is saying, what's he going to say next? And if it's, what do I do next? Make tea. You know, you're not in control of anything, you see. You're not in control of anything in your life. Even the color of your hair that you thought you chose last week to make it happened on its own. There's an idea that this mind that questions its body and says, oh, I need to do my hair. I think I'll paint it or dye it pink. Yeah? That there's an I doing it. There's an ego mind saying, I'm going to do it. Mind itself has decided your hair is going to be pink. Mind itself decides what is taking place in your life. When you allow it and go into the roller coaster, into that front seat, and this is what awakening enlightenment is. You realize you've been a fool. You've been captured by this mind. You've been captured by this idea that you're in control. Everyone is saying you have to be independent, yeah, and make decisions. And you do it. And then they say, no, that's the wrong decision. You were made for this. You're not made for that. But they're all versions of your mind. Everyone that analyzes, values, judges, and questions you are versions of the mind, questioning itself to try and learn so that it can create some sort of animated idea that you're a good boy. You did well in life. And then the body is taken away. And there's no heaven. And there's no hell. And there's no you. Oh my God, I wasted my whole life. But you exist. You've woke up. You've eventually woke up. An awakening enlightenment is dying before you die. To say, what the hell are you seeking for? Why all the questions? What is wrong with what is here right now? We're not speaking about this person in this house, in this country, married in this family, with this job. We're speaking about what surrounds us right now. What is surrounding us right now? Breath, yeah, non-illness at this moment. and a beautiful, wonderful space around that is filled with color, forms, and movement. And that's all. That's what awakening enlightenment reveals. It can reveal other wise, wonderful things about God and consciousness and light and spirit and existence and wisdom and how the world was, how you were created into this one moment, mirror-like state thingy. And we can spout this off constantly. We can sit in satsangs and say, this is what really truth is. But the fact is, as a human, as appearing as this temporary human body, this is what it is. There are no needs for questions. Is there a genuine belief that you are only this body and that you were born and that when your body ceases to become involved with living, you will die? That is the belief system that the mind, ego mind, can adapt or adopt into through conditioned listening, taking on board, thinking, 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 thinking. If I continue to think, if I continue to listen, if I continue to question, I will continue to grow. But the fact is, the belief system that I grow into is limited because I'm going to die. So what is the use of learning, thinking, knowing, succeeding, improving, creating, building, when it's going to be of no use? So let's build in another belief system that there is something after this body that I will be rewarded with if I continue to adapt and adopt into this world of following suit of the same thoughts, the same situation, the same ideas, the same process. And then a new thought comes. A new thought comes, suddenly born. There's something more than this. It come through a sensation, an experience, an insight. I'm sure I saw that. I heard that voice of that person that died 10 years ago. Something? Is there something more? Every day a clue, every day a clue. Why? What is the clue for? To tell you not that there is something more. That you are able to create your own thoughts. You are able to create something new. And the problem is, you see, the problem is we have built this belief system that we need confirmation and we need reassurance and we need someone superior or someone more intelligent or someone who has a certificate to say, yes, okay, that's true. You can follow that thought. Because I followed it. You see? Buddha followed it. Buddha, I need confirmation. I read Zen. Oh yes, Buddha did it. It's okay now, I can go on and pursue this. You don't have that discipline, that need, that desire, that gladiator approach to say, I don't give a hoot. Who? I've researched everywhere and no one has given confirmation. No one has given some sort of reassurance. No one has experienced it before. Am I a freak? Because that's what they'll tell you, you see. When you decide to share it on YouTube or whatever it is, you'll decide to share it and they'll say, no, we need to lock this one away. But they're not wanting to lock you away. That's your mind saying, I'm not accepted. I'm not fitting in. I feel as if I have found something new. But I don't have the uniform. I don't have the awards, the certificates. I don't have that. superiority. I don't have that recognition by the world. I'm only just a guy who sweeps the streets. How will they believe me? How will they take my word? Because I haven't done nothing in life to merit what I have experienced. And the only way, there is only one way, is to realize that you are alone in this quest. Your human body is not alone. Your human body is interacting. To say your human body is alone is deluded, because we create babies through two human bodies coming together. We cannot live. It is 100% guaranteed that when you see another form that looks like you, that is a human being, you're not alone. There are two of you. But you, the one that is true to this visitation, this experience, is totally alone. You are totally alone. So what this new thing that you have established is out of the grounds of the human connective way of thinking and understanding and accepting and agreeing and negotiating. You have found something new. No one has experienced it. Some voice, the voice of God, Brahman, whatever you want to call it, consciousness. You have fell into the abyss and you came back and you feel as if you are expansive, you are stretching all over the world, and you say to someone, I feel as if I am the whole world, and they say, no, you've been drinking too much. You've been taking that medication, that drugs. And they're quite right to tell you that, because you are interacting with that in a human mind, in a human limited way. The human mind is limited. That mind that is beyond universal, that is available for everyone. You have touched on that, and you have moved out of this realm. And what has taken place is you have to realize at that point, you are that one that moves out of this body, moves out of this realm, cannot come back and associate and share stories with other humans. There are no one like you. You can say Buddha would understand, Christ would have understood. You can say Ramana would have understood. No, because they also inside their true original state, that they are, everyone is here as one whole universe alone, merging and interacting as if there's some sort of layering technique going on. Oh, there's another one in my world. There's another one in my world. It's my world. That's why we have ego, because the ego is based on that original state to say, you are going here alone, and you will not experience anything other than you. So therefore the ego then says, okay, well, it's my world. It's me. You must do this. But when you interact with another human, it's not your world. It is a shared world. It's very subtle between that human mind and that universal mind, or that higher conscious mind that we all attain and never lose. But we decide to put it in the back burner for a while I become a human, while I just enjoy this human world. And the insights that people have to awaken, the seeking is started by this other mind saying, now come, you have been exposed to this. What else? Is there something that you can use this body to find and attain before you leave this body, so that you can feel at ease and have no fear, and death of the body will come and you will simply transcend into that what you have already experienced? I don't know, it's very difficult to make sense, because this mind is trying to speak and share through a human world, and it's not expecting any results, because it is not what it appears to be when you appear and disappear. And that what disappears, replaced by something else that apparently appears in the body. So the disappearing act of your original state gives birth to your body. And when your body starts something new is going on, it is disappearing itself so that the one that disappeared originally can appear again for a moment. If it appears for longer than a moment, your body's gone. It's not going to come back. But in this disappearing and appearing act, there's a realization. I'm alone. In the human world, I'm not alone. But in this side, the one that dwells inside and outside, is expansive and universal. And it is infinite. But when the human me goes, I won't understand who I am again. I won't know anything other than aloneness, beingness, consciousness. I could be a leaf floating in the sky. It matters not. There will be no relationship. The human body is the only relationship that can have other relationships with other human bodies. The one inside cannot form another relationship because it is alone. Non-duality is when you find solitude, that everything seems to become one, but you cannot say another human being is one with you. They are in their own world. We are appearing even as humans as if we are alone. And they don't understand me because they're not in your world. Even your human world, your unique DNA system, your unique changing body is not the same as anything else. Not 2 moments are the same, not 2 hairs are the same from you and another human being. You are uniquely a human and uniquely alone. But you have this capability through a mind to interact and intersect and intermerge and intercreate and apparently make birth and become an expansive human race. But solitude is what you discover when you become enlightened. You seem to be living 2 worlds. When you become enlightened, you seem to become dual. Because you cannot refuse that ego mind. It has to come back in. You cannot fit into a world being alone of a human nature. Buddha tried it under the bonsai tree. Christ tried it. This one tried it. Ramana tried it. You cannot escape. There's no need to escape. It's a wonderful experience interacting and sharing things. So you live that life out. But inside you have experienced your true self. You have experienced your true expansive self. And when this body goes, there will be no more relating and interacting and intermerging and intercreating. There'll just be you, space. Not knowing what you are. Again, not knowing what you are. Until you take life in something else and transcend it to something else. It's an ongoing journey. There is no beginning, no end. You are infinitely here as whatever your mind states, as whatever your experience states, and as whatever your self-realization of truth in your original state states. Oh. Observing, seeing, thinking, much more complex, isn't it? Observing and seeing are very simple. Until you put a name to what it is that you're looking at, to put an idea that it is some sort of form or substance or quality or color or size, to observe it as separate from the cloud being separate from the sky, or the sky being separate from the mountain, is thinking. Observing is seeing. with no contact to the mind, with no idea, with no information, with no knowledge, with no separation, some futile idea that something is different from something else. Thinking is using the observing skill to get some information, to measure something, to have some definition, for a purpose. Observing, everything is observing. There is only observing. But the mind will relate observing to the eyes, the brain, and a need to know what the brain and the eyes are observing for some ridiculous idea that it knows. It can change. It can improve. It can associate with. It can attach to. It can make something out of it. It can make a comparison between this and that. It can have preferences. It can have an experience. Thinking is for the thought to come through this meat suit to experience itself. The mind wants to experience itself. The observer has no knowledge, no intent, no judgment. It just is. You see? When you add a story onto is, thinking has been born and is moving into the zone to claim credit for what it sees, not for what the observer sees. Human mind has adapted this belief that it is here for a purpose. It is here to think. It is here to improve. It is here to create. It is here to worship and celebrate and experience and take action and make differences and break up and build and join and love and hate. These are all states of thought, states of thinking. Whatever I am is appearing as billions of states that are just sifting and projecting through every single nanosecond. Through a vocal system, through a sound system, through a visual system, through a touching system. These are all thoughts. I am billions of thoughts appearing in billions of different moments. In one moment, in one body, in one life. We know that. But when you believe that you are this form body and that you are projecting all these states, or these states happen to be just passing by you and coming through you, when you believe that you are the body and the states are coming through you, there's a division between the body and the states coming through you. When you believe that you are the whole thing, you're still in a belief system. You're still believing, now I'm here, now I'm angry, now I'm sad, now I am just a body, now I am thinking. When the body and the states and all these things merge and fall into a ball and disappear through the magician's hands, this is true living. There appears to be something going on. But there's no you, me, or I. Experience it as a personal, I am experiencing something going on. That I am part of the something that is going on. There is no importance There is no superiority. There is no failure. There is no chaos. There is no stillness. There is no awakening enlightenment. There is no sleep. There is no day. There is no time. There is no logic. There is just what it is that is taking place, and it's all the same thing, appearing as the same thing, for the same thing. Consciousness giving light to itself and appearing as all of this, with an apparent thinker and an apparent observer. Which one are you? Can you be one separate without the other? Can you think without observing? And can you observe without thinking? To observe without thinking is to experience absolute. See, cannot put a word to it when you're observing without thinking. Even absolute diminishes the quality of what is taking place. That essence of whole beingness taking place when observing becomes the only thing that appears to be taking place. To act it out, to think it out, diminishes it, because the attention apparently now goes from the whole thing, not the individual sky, the individual mountains, the individual colors, the individual you, the individual space between you and the mountains, and the whole thing just becomes one whole thing. The thinking is when the sky becomes the sky, the clouds become the clouds, the space becomes the space, the body becomes the body, the laptop becomes a laptop. Both of these are added spices, because you are even beyond the observer and the observing of consciousness. But you cannot not be consciousness. It's a riddle within a riddle. Consciousness is. That's all that exists. But something within consciousness holds consciousness together. Sees through the eyes of consciousness. That numerical I, that letter I. I am. I is. I. Something that the core, the root of consciousness takes consciousness into another dimension, which is transcendental, which is beyond all of this. You are here as this body. You are here as this mind. You are here as a form. You are here in this world, in this earth, in this universe. But you're also here and there, here and there, everywhere in this universe. But you're also beyond at the same moment, right now. You are the universe, you are the body, and you are beyond. Wordless. All of this is really wordless until we give it words. The thinking mind gives it words. What was this before it became a hand? It still exists. It still flows. It matters not what it's called. It can do things. It can actually experience itself living. It can stretch. It can create strength. And it can be very tactile and sensitive. But we diminish it and say it's a hand. And therefore it is of no use until I calls it into attention, Mr. Hand. You be good, Mr. Hand. The observer is taking place. It takes place in your deep sleep. It takes place throughout your day. But the mind wants to come in to the forefront and guide itself through through its own self egoistic knowledge. I know what that is. I know what that is. I know where I'm going. I know what my purpose is. I know I'm poor, but I know I can be rich. All of these are individual games, thinking mechanisms to try and enhance and improve that what is missing. And that what is missing is simply just to accept everything going on with a flavor of love, a flavor of life, a flavor of beingness. Not many can go through a life just being. Most are thinking their way out into the open closet. Because out into the open is being boxed in. Everything is a riddle within a riddle. Everything is contradictory. Everything is just not what it seems. Isn't that true? Isn't that what we say? I just don't think. I just can't get my head around it today. Anyway. Can one just be? Can one just observe? And can one even see through the observing? See through meaning, I see through you, you're a fake. You've been exposed. Something observes the observer. That's the most important question. Papa G says, who is the who and who am I? Can something observe the observer observing the thoughts that are coming and going? Who can observe the observer?